Hi, I'm Chad. In the fall of 2020, I bought this boat, a Columbia 10.7 called Semantis, for $750. We motored her south to her new home at Chipman Point Marina on Lake Champlain. She is now undergoing a complete refit in preparation to begin sailing the world.
So it's January 2023, and I am about a year behind on editing videos. I'm very sorry. I've been very bad about getting these videos edited in a timely manner. I've been very busy with boat work and secular work. The videos have fallen behind, and I apologize for that. I hope you enjoy the film. Vermont is pretty. I think you'll like that. We get into a little bit of boat work towards the end.
So headed back over to the boat today. Today's just a cleanup day. Random debris and stuff that's built up as part of the deconstruction process. I'm just taking a ride over. But I wanted you guys to get to see Vermont in the wintertime, and wanted you to get to see what it looks like out here. Alright, I'm going to try to hold this as still as possible, sitting on the dash of the car. You see a little bit of Vermont on the ride over here. This is coming into a small town called Rochester on Route 100. Difficult to capture how steep some of these hills are on camera. I'm trying to hold the camera level just so that you can get a better idea when I'm going up and down hills. But it's pretty steep. And these roads can be very bad in bad weather. This road that I'm coming off called Rochester Mountain is exceptionally bad. I don't know if you can see the snow on the tops of the tree branches. I'm going to spin the camera around a little bit and give you a view off the side of the road. There's the green. It's a pretty little town. We're actually pretty level ground here coming through town. That cafe over there is excellent across the street. There's also a couple of interesting little bookstores here that are unique, secondhand books, and restaurants, so you can go in and have lunch, browse through books. It's a little pricey, but it's kind of neat. So we're heading south on Route 100 through Rochester. If you look at a map of Vermont, we'll be turning west on Route 73 when we get south of town. You can see the snow sitting on top. You can see the clouds touching the tops of the mountains here. These peaks that we're coming into here are probably in the 3,000 foot range. Turn the camera to the north. We're coming up into the Green Mountains. So Vermont is an interesting place. It's kind of folky, kind of hippie. It's there's some wealthy people and there's a bunch of regular people. It's a very expensive place to live. Taxes are very, very high. I'm not sure that it's worth the expense. It just happens to be where I live right now. There's a pretty valley off here to the north a little bit. Flat spots in Vermont like this are pretty uncommon. The west side of the state is flatter. The east side of the state is just rugged and bumpy, range after range after range. And only the Champlain Valley is flat. I prefer the flatter lands because you can see the mountains. When you get over here, like where we're at right now, you're kind of embedded in the mountains and there's really not a lot to see. I mean, it's pretty, but it's close up. It's just no long range views. We go turning up into the greens. This left-hand turn here. straight here, that dead end road, there's a lot of good primitive camping out there. There's a lot of camping in Vermont, a lot of outdoor stuff. This is actually kind of steep here, steeper than it appears, going up this hill. Many people refer to this pass here as Brandon Gap. In Vermont, all the passes through the Green Mountains are called gaps for some reason. Brandon Gap, Lincoln Gap, Appalachian Gap. So I would recommend visiting Vermont. I wouldn't recommend living here. A lot of expense, a lot of, heating, in most cases firewood. It's all good work, it's all enjoyable work, but you spend your whole summer essentially getting ready for winter again. It might seem kind of romantic to hang out in the snow in a hunker down in a storm, getting snowed in with crackling wood fire. But if you didn't need to go anywhere, that would be the case. But if you have to live and work here, getting in and out, traveling in bad weather and all that is just not really all that great. So up to the right here, that's Mount Horeb. It's kind of a pretty little mountain top. So we're coming through the top of the gap pretty soon here. Here's the long trail, the long distance hiking trail. It goes along the spine of the Green Mountains, 272 miles long, from the Massachusetts border to the Canadian border. It's a very cool hike, oldest long distance hiking trail in the country. And I was able to buy out the time to be able to hike it from end to end in the spring of 2003. It took me 3 weeks. It's a good hike. I would recommend it. 272 miles plus all the side trails and vistas, overlooks. I recommend the hike, but I recommend doing it a lot slower than I did it. Maybe slow down to 15 miles a day or something. I was going way too fast, and a lot of it kind of blends together, and I missed a lot of stuff that I should have stopped to enjoy. So this is the top of the Green Mountains in Vermont. Not anywhere near the highest point. A clear day with better visibility. I'll take you out, look around. It's a really pretty farm here. It's not really used, it's more of a show farm, but it's very well taken care of. You see all the maple trees in there with no leaves on them. Mixed hardwoods, but those are mostly sugar maples. Another Vermont thing we do here is maple sugaring, and it might be something that I will do. It's I've done it in the past. It's enjoyable. It takes a bit of time. Tap the maple trees in the spring as the frost is coming out of the ground. Things are starting to thaw, and the maple sap collect in buckets or lines, and boil it down. It's usually 2% sugar content, and you boil it down. It's about 40 gallons of sap to 1 gallon of syrup. That would be 2%. Sometimes it's higher, 3%, 4%. Sometimes it's lower, 1%. But you boil that sap down, and that's how you get maple syrup. And it's enjoyable. Crackling fire, sweet maple smelling steam. A lot of people will have a couple of beers, and sometimes they'll even throw hot dogs in the sap and boil them in the sap, or eggs. It's kind of a slow-paced, relaxing winter hobby if you got nothing else to do. So this year, I might have the time. And if I do, I might make a few gallons of syrup, and I might show you guys the process. It is the 5th, I believe, of January 2022. And I'm just showing you where things are at. Last time I was here, I did a pretty serious cleaning. I cleaned out, this is the galley here we're looking at. On the port side, so the settees, the bathroom's all cleaned out. All the junk and trash is gone from ripping apart this whole port side deck. I took the fiberglass panels with me from the deck, 4 pieces, and the 2 or 3 pieces from the cabin top side. Cold, it's winter time. So not a lot's gonna happen on the boat for a little bit. But what I am gonna do is start hoeing out all this extra stuff here. The V-berth mattresses, there's some pieces and parts in there. And I've got this whole pile of stuff on the starboard side, more stuff in the V-berth. So what I'm aiming to do is take back anything that is rebuildable in the shop with the heat. So I'm gonna pack up as much stuff as I can and get it back to the shop. I'll be able to rebuild those there in the convenience of the shop. It's just something I can get ahead on. There's no lights on in here. This is just the light coming through the port lights. So if I get this all out of my way, I can actually start rebuilding this stuff, and I can bring it back in an orderly way. Start reassembling the boat. This was all cleaned out, removed. I needed the sheet of plywood that goes on the quarter berth, under the quarter berth mattress there. So I hauled everything out of this area, stacked it over here in the galley. It's 4 pieces. That's it. Those are the only things I was not able to fit back into the car. So I got rid of all the sheet goods. They're all going back to the garage so that I can rebuild them and seal everything in a coat of epoxy. So nothing is going to have an opportunity to get wet. This is the V-berth. We found a mouse nest. You can see all that paper kicking around. So this tank is coming out, but it's leaving once and for all. So I've got the whole setup, the tanks, the lines, the toilet, the whole assembly. It's all going. These were drawers in the V-berth, port and starboard. But look at this wasted space in the back. That's not going to be happening again. I suspect that divider's coming out, and I'm just going to do it all from the top. These mattresses for the V-berth flip right up nice and easy, so you can flip it up and access it from the top. So this is all new storage. This stuff was kind of wasted with the Blackwater tank, so that's coming out. That's all storage. Quite a bit of storage up front there. Ahead of that, there was a few things in here. I found another VHF radio, and this box here has just got a bunch of odds and ends in it. I'm not even sure what some of it is, but same thing over here. We're looking at the starboard side now, and those drawers just wasted space, so that's not happening again. I'm going to access that space. There's also some space like that, not as much, but some, in the captain's quarter berth. Same kind of problem. So I marked the plywood sheet that goes under the mattress where the bulkheads cross, and I'm going to create better access there as well. So I opened up some storage, which is never a bad thing on a boat. A while back I showed you this spot here under the chart table. There's lost space there as well, so we're going to reclaim all that space. And that's about it. I just wanted to give you a good look at the stuff I got out of here today. So here's the Explorer. Load it up. Look at all that. Every bit of plywood sheet good for the head, the galley, the settees, the quarter berth, everything. It's all there. There's a lot of stuff in here. That thing on the bottom there is the column that goes around the mast, down by the mast step. I can't believe it. I was able to get it all in. Alrighty guys, here it is. It's that whole pile of material that I brought over out of the boat. All the sheet goods. Some of it you can see has hardware and trim attached to it in places. And over here, fiberglass for the port side decks and the cabin top side. And the bulkhead, that's the big bulkhead. The two smaller ones are behind it. I've got a couple of months off this winter from work, and I'm going to try to be as productive as possible doing this and hit the ground running in the spring. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I want to thank those that have subscribed to my channel or like, share, and comment on my videos. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps me to gain traction here on YouTube.